Hi. So today I'd like to share with you a style of drawing called stream of consciousness drawing. It's something that everyone can do. You don't need to be an artist. You don't need to, have really any artistic experience or drawing experience. All you need is a pencil and a piece of paper. And you can get into the creative flow, and it's what I've found sort of like a way to meditate and get outside the mind, and really a way to relax, and it's a fun way to relax. So yeah, I'm excited to share this with you, so let's get started. All right, so here we are at the desk. I have my paper, my pencils, and I wanted to show you that you can really use any kind of pencil you want. One of these would be fine. You could use a pen if you want as well. I like to use these art pencils, and this one is a 6B, and that one just gives a nice dark line, and really you can shade with it a lot, so I like that. But for our purposes here, I think I'm going to start out with this sort of generic pencil and finish off with this one that I like a little bit more. But I really want to just illustrate and show how just with these basic materials we can make drawings and be creative and get into the flow of creativity without being constrained by needing the piece to be a certain way or thinking about it as being good or bad. We want to get beyond all of that and just create and just make something. And so that's kind of the idea behind stream of consciousness drawing, is to get into a flow state where the subconscious leads the way. So I think the best way to get started is to just get started and to just make a mark. You can hold the pencil any way, really. I've discovered this way that I really like, that's a little different, that holding it like this. That way I can get a wide area of the lead for shading, or I can get a nice crisp line as well. Okay, so let's get started. So yeah, just making movements, making marks without really thinking like, okay, like that's like a finger or a tree or something like that. It's just, this is just going with the feeling and the physicality of the moment, and just kind of putting one motion in front of the other. And so yeah, I'll start like this and do this for a while, just making moves and making marks without really thinking about what they are, what they need to be. In a way, it's like creating shapes. So oftentimes shapes very abstract and connect and link up in different ways and make a sort of larger picture suggestion, of I guess, a suggestion of a larger, maybe it's a landscape, maybe it's like something smaller even, like a microcosm. Getting into the cellular level of things, or this can almost develop kind of like organic plant growth. A lot of the time that's kind of how I see it and sense it, and that's about, the extent of the thinking that I like to put into it. So yeah, holding the pencil like this just kind of keeps me from getting too, I guess, fussy about, trying to like be detailed, I guess. I just kind of, it enables me to make shapes more and kind of focus on shapes and shading and moving across the paper instead of just getting stuck in one spot or getting stuck like thinking about it, because it all kind of becomes like kind of messy enough that I'm just, I'm detached from the preciousness of it all. And that can be helpful to just get somewhere with a drawing or creativity, to just, it getting away from being precious is kind of where discoveries are, and surprises and things like that. It's like that's when you're like almost ready to turn the corner, and when what's around that corner, like what's around that corner. And then, you find it with a little bit of effort when you keep going, but if it's too precious, keep going. Becomes a little bit more difficult to keep going if it's too precious, I think. So that's why this is just, a meditation in terms of kind of like letting go, I guess. Like letting go into the flow of a process, being present in life, with something, and it's being present, something in a physical way too, where you kind of allow the mind to kind of like relax back and just go, okay, like okay, mind, don't have to like be critical of like how's that look, like is that the right move? But there's no mistakes here with this. This is all about, it's like integrating everything, I guess, like mistakes and discoveries and surprises. And so yeah, see how like naturally I've switched back to holding the pencil this way I'm so used to. So that's funny. It just kind of happened without me realizing it. But that's good. That's cool. It's now I'm kind of loosened up. So it's not tedious, I guess. you know, trying to keep the pencil moving. It feels more natural now that I kind of detached from the mental game of it a bit. So yeah, so I'm gonna switch over now to this pencil, which is going to give me a little bit of a darker line and a little more shading. Kind of make things pop a little more. And that's how, you know, you keep it fun. You kind of integrate these, you know, little tools of like, it's like, yeah, you know, so now you get something down and, you know that you can just kind of keep pushing these lights and darks and kind of bringing out shapes from what's been sort of sketched out. Without really thinking about, like, you know, what that shape is. Just I've always been fascinated with how things connect and come together in the end, and you know, when the drawings starts to become finished or full, it starts to have this sort of aspect of kind of like telling an unexpected story. So it's like, yeah, you know, I didn't expect that result, and that's pretty awesome. So sometimes it helps to turn it a little bit. Kind of keeps it fresh. Keeps it from static or, you know, too heavy on one side or something like that. Keep it balanced. Keep it fresh. Yeah. Oops. So yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, once you start to kind of get something down, you can also just, you know, you can get as detailed as you want in a lot of ways as well. You know, it's all up to you. I've seen stream of consciousness drawings that are really representational. You know, it's about following the stream of your consciousness, wherever that takes you in the drawing. And so it's, you know, if there are things you like to draw already, you know, say you like to draw, you know, people and plants and things, it'd be so cool to just like see where the subconscious takes that, you know, just to kind of let it go and not be too caught up in a result. That's all. It's relaxing. It's more and more fun as it comes together, and you know, you move through different ways of drawing and sketching, and it's all, you know, it's all acceptable, it's all okay. It's just you know, seeing where it goes. Or maybe even more importantly, I guess, being in the moment, clear enough to let it go. See, the stream of my consciousness is now starting to run free a little bit too, in terms of thinking and all of that, and that's nice. It's relaxing. I don't even know really, you know, what this is. It's quite organic, but that's the main point, to at least for me, is to not necessarily, like, you know what it is. I mean, I think it starts to get to a point where you start to kind of have an idea of what it is, what it's becoming, but don't have to. Can just kind of draw. Just really putting down lines, making shapes. So one thing I try to be a little careful of at this point is, rubbing my hand a lot on the drawing. It tends to make it all kind of turn a little gray, so I'm going to try and be careful of that. But it's kind of hard to do. Actually, sharpen this. So yeah, now I'm realizing everything's starting to look kind of the same. So I'll allow a little bit of thought in there, like, okay, maybe I want to like change it up a little bit. So I'm gonna try and like create some interest with something, like kind of change up my style within the style a little bit. And yeah, I mean, it's all up to you how long you want to work on one of these for, I found I work on them for anywhere from, 10 minutes to like a few hours. Oftentimes, actually, it's like after about a half hour to an hour, I'm like kind of starting to like really get into it, and so it is almost, it's like really desirable to just kind of finish the page and fill it up until I see basically nowhere else to really make a mark. And that's when I know that something's done. You know, whether it's like a painting or a drawing, that's usually the one of the biggest criteria for me. But yeah, you know, like I said, it's kind of up to you, like how far you want to take one of these. And sometimes, you know, 10 minutes is pretty freaking awesome. And it's like it's like the mind's relaxed, and there's like this kind of sense of joy and peace from having done something generative like this. And so I've found that like 10 minutes can be enough. So it's all up to you. You know, the whole process of stream of consciousness drawing is up to you. You know, how much thought you want to put into it, or not, and you know, how representational you want it to be, whether or not you want to be making shapes or, you know, layering scribbling marks. It's like I'm almost kind of doing both here. And so it's working for me because, and I know that because, you know, my mind is starting to be just present with the drawing. You know, and I'm finding, you know, little spells here where I'm having less to say and all of that. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's a good sign that it's, you know, it's kind of doing its job of being a meditation, a purging and a clearing process, essentially. So yeah, you can see why I like these 6B pencils. They really push those darks. And once the drawing starts to get built up a bit, that can be really useful. So then you get all the contrast and highlights. It pops and it's exciting. All right, yeah, so as you can see, I could keep going on with this for quite some time. Yeah, I really wanted to give you the tools here to be able to do this for yourself and to just give you an idea of how easy this can be, kind of how rewarding and, the kind of relaxed, mental state that it is great to, enable. So anyway, I think I will leave it there for now, and I appreciate you for sticking this out with me. And yeah, it's just it's really good to share this, I think, and I hope that you'll benefit from it and find a way to be creative as well with this. And so I'm wishing you all the best. Take care, peace and love. Goodbye. So after I said goodbye last time, I decided to work on the stream of consciousness drawing a little bit longer. And this is the end result. I just wanted to share it with you, and I hope you enjoy.